Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. Well, probably almost afternoon now. Well, yeah. So I'm recording this video for a couple reasons. One is that some of you had asked for, weekly updates on my training, kind of what I'm doing, what my progress is like. So I figured I would share that here. Also, I sometimes struggle with eating too fast. I don't know how many of you kind of can relate to that. Left to my own devices, I will completely obliterate my food. So my idea here was to, if I record this video, my goal is to spend at least 20 minutes eating and not the usual 2 to 5. So this is sort of my practice to slow down, be mindful, and eat slowly. And, when I'm talking, obviously, I can't eat while I'm talking, so it'll slow me down a little bit. So, first I'll just share what I'm having. This is like my post-workout. And excuse me, I had some dental work, so my mouth is a little right now. So, yeah, if I sound weird or start talking like this, yeah, I have a situation. Anyway, so this is like a post-workout meal for me. So I went to the gym, and I have been on a kick. Some of you may know because I talk a lot about my protein bagel thing. There's different varieties of bagels that have between, I think, 20 and 30 grams of protein, depending on the one that you get. And I've been on that kick for a while, and then, it's just like, this has become a habit. There's nothing wrong with it. I'd start my day with the bagel. Sorry, my air fryer is on. I'm making a little roll here. Let me check on it real quick. Okay, so I'm back. This is what happens sometimes when you put parchment paper in the air fryer and it starts to fly up. So just had to avert a fire. No big deal. 1 second. Anywho, I have my protein roll in the air fryer, so when that's done, I'll show that to you. Without the fire from the parchment paper. And I have these parchment paper liners that are for the air fryer, but for whatever reason, not working today. It kind of flew up and got caught in the little rings, I guess. And anywho, you don't care about that. So anyway, so I was saying I was starting my breakfast my morning with the protein bagel and my protein coffee, which I have now. So this is my coffee, and I would have the Phyta protein powder. I'll put a link for it here. I've talked about it before. It mixes really, really well with coffee. So if you're someone who likes coffee in the morning and you don't like most protein powders because they give you this weird chalky taste, this one is really good. I usually use the chocolate one to make a cafe mocha, but today I have the caramel vanilla flavor. So, and I didn't use as much because I usually fill up my whole Yeti, which I think is probably 16 ounces. It's a lot of coffee. So I decided to do a smaller cup today, so I only use half a scoop. So usually I'd probably get 15 grams of protein. So now it's probably closer to 7 or 8. So not a whole lot. But hey, it tastes good, and every little bit helps. So what I decided to kind of shift to, just because I was kind of getting in that habit, and I would eat the bagels kind of quickly, and I was on the go, I just decided to switch up and go back to my protein oatmeal in the morning. So that's what I'm having right now. And it's really good post-workout. Oh, I almost forgot to put my cinnamon. So this is my organic Ceylon cinnamon. I put cinnamon in everything. I'm just the cinnamon person. Usually put it in my coffee too. I just like the taste of cinnamon. And it was actually interesting. So earlier today, actually on my way to the gym, I was listening to Huberman Lab podcast. He's just a neuroscientist, I think, based up somewhere in California. I think somewhere in Southern California. And he has these podcasts. They're on YouTube. It's basically just him in a room wearing a black shirt talking about science stuff. So not super entertaining. But I love it because I like to geek out on some of the stuff he talks about. He did an entire episode about sugar. And one of the things he mentioned was that there were some studies that potentially show that cinnamon can help sort of decrease some of the effects of cravings that come when you have sugar, and the blood sugar spikes that come after you ingest some type of not just refined sugar, but any kind of sugar. And I said, well, that's kind of ironic because, yeah, I just tend to use cinnamon anyway, and I know cinnamon has other benefits. And he said it has to be real cinnamon, and I tend towards organic, as you guys may also know. And the Ceylon cinnamon, I think there's some research that that particular variety of cinnamon is more sort of effective at sort of helping regulate your blood sugar levels. So there's that. All right. I think my protein roll will be ready soon. I'll show you guys that. And I did a reel about that too, but I'll quickly explain the recipe. It's super simple. And I think it's like 25 grams of protein. So anywho, so for my protein oatmeal, as you just saw, I added cinnamon. What else is in here? So I use organic oats. Today it's like 30 grams. And I'll add protein powder. So I have, let's see, Plant Fusion is the one I use today. So it's Plant Fusion protein powder, and it has, I think about 20 to 25 grams of protein, something like that. So, oh, there's my protein roll. All right, let me go grab it and show you guys. See what happened. Okay, so I'm back with my protein roll. All right, now I have these cute little plates I got probably from Amazon. Be thankful, they're cute, little inspirational messages. But this is it. Look at this thing. Big honkin' crispy bun here. And yeah, there it is. You can see it. It's like super crispy. Just came out the air fryer. Look at that steam. Ooh. Oh yeah, good stuff. So yeah, this is my protein roll. It's a super simple recipe. This little guy has, you hear how crispy it is? I'm going to let it cool down for it. I don't want you guys to watch me burn my mouth. 25 grams of protein. Crazy, right? For a roll. It's like almost enjoying carbs with no carbs. 25 grams of protein. So this is like my new sort of plan in the morning. Make one of these. Have my protein oatmeal. If you're doing math and keeping score, that's 50 grams of protein this morning. I'll talk about why in a minute. Actually, excuse me. Told you my mouth hurts. This is probably not ideal. It's too chewy. Between the roll, this I think is between 20 to 25 grams of protein. This is probably about 7, so it's probably a little more than that. So it's a lot of protein, and I probably won't even get through eating all this. Honestly, I probably will save some for later. Just because, I don't know, like protein tends to be satiating, and because I'm deliberately trying to slow down my eating by talking to you guys while I'm doing this, I'm probably just going to be full. I might have to save it for later, which is fine. Like, I think sometimes we get in this thing, especially like if we're on like a meal plan, which I don't believe in, we kind of think I need to eat exactly what's on there, right? We have this idea we have to clean the plate, especially if you grew up with someone telling you there were starving children in whatever third world country. For reference, fill that in. Oh, you got to clean your plate, right? So if you were in the clean the plate club when you were little, it's probably really hard for you to just walk away when you're full and remember that you have a refrigerator and you can always like wrap something up and save it for later. Not the end of the world. And especially to people who are into fitness, like we get on these plans where we're like, oh, I've got to get exactly, 114.2 grams of protein. So I've got to eat every morsel and lick the plate. And, it's like, you can be extreme with anything, right? So I always say, like, don't stuff yourself, because the thing that you really don't want to do is throw off your body's hunger cues and fullness cues, right? So there's so many things that already can interfere with that, especially if you're trying to lose weight, build muscle. If you're training in the gym, your hunger is going to fluctuate based on that, right? Especially if I'm always talking about this, like if you're doing a lot of high intensity work in the gym, whether it's weightlifting or cardio, that can spike your appetite, right? Especially if you're doing like high intensity cardio, which is why I tend to say like it's not ideal to do that as your main source of cardio if you're trying to lose weight, because it kicks up your hunger so much that it almost is counterproductive, because then you're going to end up eating a lot more. And then, or sometimes we think, oh, I worked out hard in the gym, I deserve this, right? So we reward ourselves with food, which I also do not, I just try, to avoid rewarding myself with food, especially like unhealthy food, because I think it sets up an even unhealthier relationship with food. And so I don't know if it's a tangent, but yeah, basically the idea is that like you're gonna be hungrier after you train. And also if you're doing weight training, it might be a little bit delayed, right? Like whereas with cardio, you're gonna burn off all this glucose, like blood sugar, like really quickly. And then you're gonna be hungry right after because your body wants you to replace that because it's depleted. Whereas with strength training, sometimes you can have an intense workout and maybe you're a little hungry after, but it's usually like a day or two later as your muscles are repairing themselves, muscle protein synthesis is happening. Your body's trying to actually repair that tissue that you damaged, because that's what building muscle is. It's like tiny tears in your muscle tissue, like little fibers, and then kind of repairs itself and builds it back up. And that's how your muscles get bigger and more toned looking and all that wonderful stuff. So because your body is pulling from its resources to try to repair those muscle tears, that tends to kick up your hunger because your body's looking for like nutrients to repair. So it can be a little bit delayed, but that's why I always say, but if your hunger is increasing, that's usually a good sign that you're training hard in the gym, and that your body really needs that nutrient sort of like replenishment. So there's that. Okay, so anywho, the reason why I've decided to kick up my protein, this is actually high even for me, is because I've decided to start sort of like a mini cut. I would say I'm probably, so my last competition season was last year, so it's 2024 now. So it's March, beginning of March. And I finished up my season in November of last year. So if you look at that, that's been roughly, let's say, so around Thanksgiving was like the end of my season-ish. So let's see, so December, January, February, and like half of November. So it's been like 3.5 to 4 months-ish since I was on stage. And so during this period, I've kind of gotten, I've gotten a little more lax just because I needed the mental break. Competition is tough. And I was like, I just don't feel like tracking food right now. You know, I mean, I always get my protein because it's just kind of how I eat. But I was like, yeah, I'm just going to have a French fry here or there. And I'm going to not track so much. And then winter comes around, which is my least favorite season. I'm sorry. And it's cold, and I don't like going outside in the cold. I try to tolerate it sometimes. Like, I even bought these like gloves that have like battery warmer or something in them. I have the coats, I have the hoodies, I've got the hats, I've got all the gear, right? The lined pants, like, because I like to hike. I like to take my dog out. Excuse me. Ooh, voice is cracking. Going through puberty. I can take my dog out for hikes, and I can tolerate it to a point, but when it's really cold, that tendency to want to get under a warm sheet and stay in bed is real. And one of the things that I was doing more, like, so I have a desk treadmill. And so when I'm, oh God, my voice is cracking like crazy. Y'all gonna say I'm taking hormones now. So I have my desk treadmill. So my tendency is like when I have a call, I'll be like on the treadmill. And I just wasn't doing that as much. I think that I was just depleted energetically, and I just went through a period of just not moving very much. Wintertime does that, the shorter days, the lack of motivation towards a goal, because I stopped training for the stage. And so I don't care what anyone says. Like, I feel like we all need goals, right? Like, if you don't have a goal, it's like, what are you doing? You're just existing, right? So I'll explain why my oatmeal looks like this in a minute, because it looks like probably a weird color. Okay. So I knew I wasn't moving as much. Then I got lax when I was like, I really am not trying to weigh myself as much either. I wasn't taking progress pictures for any reason. And so I knew I had expected. So my real goal was just to get stronger in the gym. I was like, I can train heavier now. I can train harder because I've got more body fat on me, and I'm enjoying that. Because like when you're leaning out, you tend to just get weaker, right? So I was actually like, I'm just going to enjoy pushing myself. I'm going to do deadlifts again. I'm going to do squats again. I'm going to like get back at it right in the gym. So that's what I've been focusing on. So I've had a loose goal, but it's not been like a, I haven't been paying as much attention to my body composition is what I'm saying, which is fine. I needed the break. But yesterday I was on a very long walk, which I'll explain later if anyone cares why. I locked myself out of my car. That's the short story. Anyway. So I was taking a walk, and I was doing the math of like, all right, my next season, I want to compete. I want to do Mr. America show in October, right? And so I was counting the weeks. And I have been weighing myself again like the past few weeks, so I know where I'm at. Like I have my baseline. So I'm doing just some basic math, and I was like, oh man, I need to get back on it, right? So what I decided was that I don't want it to be a situation where I get down to like, oh, I only have X amount of weeks to prep, right? So what I've decided to do instead is just like start my cut now so that I can be ready early and then I can take a break. That's the idea, okay? We will see how it goes. It also means that I can be a little bit more lenient with myself. I can take more breaks, and it doesn't feel like I have this impending deadline. Now, that might backfire. Just letting you guys know. I don't know. I haven't done it before. So anyway, along with that, I decided to increase my protein because I want to preserve the muscle that I feel like I've built. I need to get a DEXA scan to verify like how much. Because, I mean, I've gained weight, and I know it's not all fat. I mean, a good chunk of it is. Don't get me wrong. Those French fries add up. I make it sound I haven't been eating French fries like every week. I had them like once or twice. Anyway, not important. The point is, I know like there's muscle and fat going on, right? It's usually a combination of both. And I've been training hard, so I know I've built some muscle. I just don't know how much, right? So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I've increased my protein up to what it normally is. So I'm trying to shoot for like 50 grams instead of 40 grams a meal. So not too drastic, but definitely more. And so these little guys, my little rolls here, protein rolls, very simple recipe. It's basically just wheat gluten and nutritional yeast, y'all. It's super simple. 30 grams of wheat gluten, a half a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. I just put in some water. I didn't measure it. Sorry, I'm not really good with recipes because I don't like to measure. Well, some of you guys said you wanted recipes, but there you go. 30 grams of wheat gluten, vital wheat gluten, and a half a tablespoon of nutritional yeast flakes, and however much water it took to make it like a little dough ball. Thank you. That's a scientific term. And I just rolled it up. I used a little bit of olive oil spray. Popped it in the air fryer for like 15 minutes. Well, maybe like 12 because the parchment paper started to burn. But I did I started at 370, then up to like 400, but I think that was too much because this part looks a little charred, if you see. Not too bad. So I would maybe conservatively say like around 370, 375, depending on your air fryer settings. And that's it. You got 25 grams of protein in one roll. So there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I had to restart my phone, ran out of space. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what I'm having for breakfast for this week. And oh yeah, my oatmeal, what's in here besides? So I mentioned it's like 30 grams of oats and then a scoop of protein powder, Plant Fusion protein powder, which is like 30 grams too. And so I think it's like 20, like I said, 25 grams of protein. And I added in, I think, like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of chia seeds and blueberries. And that's pretty much it. I was going to put flax seed in there. Like usually you put ground flax seed, but I could not find it in my fridge this morning, and I gave up. So I did not, there's no flax in here, but I did remember, oh yeah, I still have my Brazil nuts. So I actually just kind of took one of my Brazil nuts and kind of used like a spoon and just kind of like made like little shavings. I don't know. I broke it up into little pieces. And so I did add in the Brazil nuts. So it's the Brazil nut, chia seeds, blueberries, which is why it looks like this. And I used, I didn't have fresh blueberries this morning and I didn't feel like looking for my frozen ones. So I actually have these freeze-dried blueberries that have no sugar added. So I actually, what's on my face? I actually used those today. And so that's why it turned like everything. It's not a powder. There are whole blueberries. You can kind of see like there's actually blueberry in there. They're dry. So when you put them in oatmeal, obviously with water, it, rehydrates them. But it turns like the entire bowl like purple. So there you go. So that is my protein oatmeal post-workout morning. And I have my beautiful, lovely bowl that I got from KMC, so Kadampa Meditation Center. And yeah, we had Shout out to Gary who made this. Not that he's going to be watching this video. But yeah, he actually made these. And beautiful like little lotus flower. So love these. So yeah, I got this bowl because I thought it was beautiful. And I wasn't using it for a while because I said it looks too pretty. And I confessed that to him. I said, the bowl is great. I have it at home. Oh no, I'm almost out of coffee. Sad day. Oh no. And I told him, I said, you know, it's so pretty. I just have it sitting. I haven't used it. He goes, use it. That's what it's meant for. So I've been using it. So he'd be glad to know I'm using it today. But it's such a beautiful, it's like a ceramic bowl. It's really well made. It's just amazing. I love this bowl. So anyway, and I'm going to meditation tonight. There's a Dharma celebration this weekend, which is like really cool because there's different people coming from all around the region. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. So I have that. I have a massage tonight, which I live for. Body work is so important. Like if you're training, or even if you're just whatever, if you're just human, I don't know. I love massages. The first time I got a massage actually was like a birthday present one year, and I had never got a massage before. I thought it was so weird. I was like, ew, I don't want a stranger touching my naked body. What is this? Clearly that was before I was a bodybuilder and had, you know, just basically I'm naked in front of strangers all the time. When you go to a bodybuilding show, that's a story for another time. If you guys want to know what it's like backstage, let me know. I do like a stand-up comedy routine about it too. But yeah, it's kind of crazy backstage. It's yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, massage. So it's also important to find a good massage therapist. And over the years, I've had some who were good, and then I was trying to find another one, and then they usually when I would find a person I like, they would leave. It's like you know when you find something in Trader Joe's that you like. It's like that flavor. It's like the whatever pumpkin spice latte bar, whatever, like some weird thing they come out with, and it becomes your favorite thing, and then they discontinue it. That's how I feel about my massage therapist. Annoying. Anyway, the person that's the person I go to now. I had a membership at Massage Envy for a long time because it was super cheap, and but yeah, the quality declined, so I ended up finally canceling it. She worked there, and then I just happened to see her at a vegan festival like a year after. Like I didn't even know, they didn't even tell us. She just was just like off the schedule, and I was like, man, I can't find a new person. But anyway, I found her, and I've been going back to her ever since. And it's just so easy because like she knows about my right shoulder injury. She knows like where I tend to be stiff, so I don't have to like go and explain every time. And I just have to keep getting that stuff worked on because the way I'm training, it's like I'm gonna be honest, like I don't stretch as much as I should. Spoiler alert. So massage really helps, and then I just like massages. Like it's just a nice way to just chill out and de-stress, relax. I try to do it at least once a month. It's definitely worth it. When people think it's like a decadent expense, but if you go get your nails done, I would rather get a massage than spend all that money getting my nails done, right? So as you can tell, my nails look like this. Anyway, so I'm doing that tonight, and then going to a Dharma talk and meditation, and yeah, that's gonna be my weekend. I think I'm pretty much finished with my training this week. I didn't finish my workout this morning because I wasn't feeling well, honestly. I think it's related to this dental thing. I took some medicine and I felt kind of weird, so I'll probably go in the morning and finish up my workout. Not ideal, but I've been training hard, so it's fine. So I'll probably finish it up tomorrow morning before, and and I might take Sunday as a rest day, or just like go for a long walk or a hike or something if it's nice out. Because finally daylight saving time and coming out of hibernation. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys for hanging in there. If you even watched the whole video, you're amazing. It helped me slow down and spend at least 20 minutes eating my breakfast, which is what I wanted. And as you can see, I didn't finish. I still have this little bit. There's still some oatmeal in here. So I might just take a break because I'm kind of full right now. Which, there's another thing. If you eat really fast, your fullness cues don't catch up. And it usually takes about 20 minutes for your body, like your gut and your brain, to kind of go, hey, all right, we're done here, right? So if you eat super fast, like you turn all that off and then you just end up feeling stuffed, right? That's why. So that's another reason to eat slowly. I'm still burping, excuse me. But that's another reason to eat slowly because your body, like even if you're listening to your body, quote unquote, whatever that means, then there's nothing to listen to, right? Because the signal hasn't reached your brain yet. So you've got to slow down. to even know if you're full. So hopefully something I said or rattled off was helpful to you guys. That's where I'm with my training. Like I said, I'm trying to do this mini cut. We'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'll try to do these once a week.